it's me. I'm back with another, like, Thrifty haul. Did I just spread this piece of cloth on my bed? To semi look a little bit more professional? Why, yes, I did. Didn't even buy this cloth. It was a present. I think someone found it in an offcut bin, probably Vanda, and gave it to me. But it's got little witches on it, and I love that. So car boot sales have been pretty slim pickings for the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to amalgamate, I think, 3 different car boot sales into one. I actually did a car boot sale last weekend, doing one this weekend to, like, sell stuff. It's really hard to get any money at all out of people. I practically had to threaten them with a bread knife, but here we are. So I got this at one car boot sale. I'm starting with the exciting stuff, obviously. Look, it's a jar, but it has a little spoon. I'm going to put maybe bath salts in this, which I think is maybe what was in it originally. It has no odour to speak of, but it's nice, and it's got like little bubbles in it in the glass, which I just thought was kind of cool and like a nice touch. Little cork on there. But you could also, I guess I could use this for my black salt if I wanted to free up the little jar that's currently in, if I made more and put it in a big jar. But that was 50p. I got that price from just this random old guy on the stall who said 50p, and then as I was walking away with it, he told his wife, and I could hear her getting pissed, and that's how you know you got a good price, if the wife is angry. So 50p, yay. Another thing that I got at a different car boot sale for 50p was this candle. I think it's a Christmas one. Okay, from that perspective it just says, oh, but Christmas. But it's from Next. You can see like the little Next logo there. And it says it's black tea and sandalwood. And I popped the lid off with difficulty. And it hasn't been burned ever. And it does smell very nice and kind of like men's aftershave-y, which I've been liking in candles more and more, like moving away from the dessert-themed ones, which can be a bit sickly in the summer, to something a little bit fresher. So I got that to add to my large collection of, get it back on there, you bastard, scented candles that I haven't burnt yet. And it's in like this cool little tin, which I quite like, and it's different. I got 2 things at one stall. It was a charity stall, so I didn't mind paying a bit of extra money for it, but I got this book on herbs and aromatherapy. The 2 of these together was £1.50. I've already slightly cannibalised this for reasons that will become clear in a second when I show you something. But it had some nice pictures in it. The information wasn't super useful because it's not a very like comprehensive book, but got some like use out of it, and now I'm gonna like throw the rest of it in with a bunch of stuff for crafting and other uses. This book had some spots of paint on the front, which focus you can kind of still see here. I tried scratching those off. Might need a little bit of a wash, and it's been a bit dusty in that bag. So this is a blank notebook with kind of a sparkly fairy on a moon. I thought this would make either a good like book of shadows to put in a job lot of wicker stuff to sell, because it, you know, it could be quite nice. It's got these nice end papers. You could put like a sticker that says Book of Shadows over where it just says blank notebook, which I think is an odd thing to just write on a notebook. Ideally, my favourite notebooks just have nothing written on them at all, it's just a picture. I have, however, noticed that there are little bits of writing in here. Not like a huge amount, but like the odd line on the edges of some of the pages, or like little notes that have been written in like... None of them are coming up now. What is this sorcery? But yeah, so that's quite a nice thing to use as like a dream journal, or I might put my tarot card readings in there because it's got nice big pages where I can like draw out the shapes of the cards ahead of time. Does anyone else do that? So you can just like write in which cards you got, because otherwise I have to like write out the spread that I'm doing and which card meant what, and then the meanings of the cards, and it takes forever and puts me off doing it. But writing it out ahead of time, that's where it's at. I creased my backdrop, no. So that was like £1.50 for that book and this one, but it's quite a sizable book, so I'm not cross. At the car boot sale that I actually sold things at, I went for a little wander because I get bored just sitting there watching people pour through my crap. So I got this. This is probably my favourite thing that I found recently. It's a skull-shaped bottle. Not much to say about it. I think it originally maybe had chili sauce or something in it, because I think I remember seeing these being sold around Christmas time. But it's nice, it's clean, it's not particularly detailed, like on the eye sockets. Kind of looks a bit like flat. So that was 75p, which was pretty good. I might put, again, salt in that, or some of my herbs, maybe some of my moon water. You know, I use generally like glass bottles like this to store witchy stuff and not stuff that is going to be consumed or that's going to go off easily, but it has a plastic lid, so that's better than a cork for storing water because it won't go mouldy. And the other thing that I got is a book that I'm probably going to review for the podcast. It's called The Witch Doll. It jumped out of me straight away. But when I looked into it, it was really exciting because, look, it was last taken out of a library on the 11th of January 1972. This is a really old book. I'm not going to show you the other page because it does have the last person to own its address written on it, like kids do when they go to school. But it was published in 1966. So another, like, quite old find. I don't tend to actually pick the books that I review for the podcast, weirdly enough, unless I already own them. They're just ones like this that I just happen to find places. And yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a weird one, I think. But happy to add that to the to read pile, which is getting huge. The next three things actually were not from a car boot sale, but they are thrifty because they were in the sale. So the first thing I got, this is all in the same range, so I'm going to just bring them in. Went to Dunelm Mill because they had a 70% sale on, and I got some Churchgate candles. These are usually £4 each, and this was originally £5. This was obviously £2.50. This is Amber and Tonka Room Spray, which smells really nice. These are the candles. I think this one was obviously like a Christmas one because they don't usually have this kind of shiny jar. But this is Winterfur and Birch and Black Tea and Patchouli. A lot of black tea going on. Quite like a black tea. They do other scents I don't like. There's a sea salt one and a driftwood one that I really, really can't stand smelling. But these were, I think, reduced to £2 each, so obviously I bought them. They're in this nice, cool, like, mason jar. Love that. I love the amber glass bottles. So if you find yourself near a Dunelm Mill and they have a sale on, they always have these on sale. I guess because not a lot of people buy them because they're quite like expensive candles, but they do like the room diffuser reeds, bigger versions of the candles, sets where you can buy like all 5 of them together. They get really, really cheap in the sale, so grab those if you're a fan of this sort of like hipstery packaging like I am, or these slightly more sophisticated scents than just like gingerbread and muffin, which I like for like the winter, but not so much for the summertime. So I got those. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about was my herbiary. Does anyone else remember when I got this at the jumble sale and I said I was going to do something with it and then didn't get around to doing that for a very long time? So I actually got around to doing something with it. I've been cutting up like books and things to put in here. I know, sacrilege. I added these stickers, which I bought ages ago for another project, but they've got like a clear background and they're like leaves. So I'm going to eventually write Herbiary there when I can trust my handwriting. I did some end papers for it. These were black and white line drawings from the Herb book, which I kind of watercoloured. They don't look super amazing. Oh, there's the stickers. But I think they do the job. They cover up kind of the ragged, well, most of the ragged parts of the paper. But I didn't want it to look perfect. I wanted it to look old, which it is. So I'm not mad about it. This one I don't really like that much. I might cover up again. And then I was watching my Hellraiser box set, which just arrived, and I started filling in my pages. So here we've got obviously the pictures from the Herb book that I showed in that thrift haul, a little bit of the description, which I found quite helpful because it tells you a teeny bit sometimes about the medical uses, but also where you can find the herb. Obviously, stinging nettles are not hard to find, but for some of the other ones in here it is useful. Then I kind of broke it down into magical uses, medicinal uses, and sometimes the forms it comes in, or the forms that you can take it in, and sometimes like associations if the forms wasn't really applicable. And then I started to think, well, because these aren't really in any alphabetical order because I couldn't be bothered, For reference, it would help if I had some keywords. So just on the white background of the pictures, I started putting like, obviously for this it's protection, hexing, defense, associated with fire and Mars, and then quite a long Mars symbol. And then over here I've got like white dead nettle, which has like sweet nectar and white flowers, obviously. And to me that's more associated with female. I thought it was kind of juxtaposed against like the male stinging nettles, so I kind of added that as my own association. But a lot of the resources for like this correspondence has come from Wikipedia, other things like that. And again we've got like, I just unstuck that one a bit, little stickers to like decorate it. They're a little bit crinkly because I had to stick them in with PVA glue, which is not nature's most good adhesive. Great word, Sarah. You word's good. But I like the kind of crinkly old look. I like the sound the pages make when you turn them. Again, I kept this little chart on because I thought this was really helpful, if my camera would ever focus. Because it kind of gives like other names and where you can find it. This corresponds to obviously roadsides and when you can find it. Very useful information. I've kind of highlighted where it's useful. I've written above the name if it's toxic or not. Here are some associations. I had these little heart stickers, so I started putting these next to love magic. I kind of want some symbols for like defense and protection, just because again it makes it a good quick reference guide, but I can't think of any. Maybe for healing like the Red Cross or something, but let me know if you can think of any other like symbols that I could put in here. This is some stuff about wormwood, obviously very toxic. And yeah, just filling that in. Some of these obviously haven't got around to filling in because I did basically all of this yesterday. And then these are stuck together. Great job, Sarah. Excellent job. This is hard to do with one hand. Can you hear? Ah, there we go. These are from the aromatherapy book because obviously these are more like cultivated plants and not wild plants. So I've got some fennel there. Nice picture of some lavender, sage. So I am not good with glue. Right. Haven't really had a lot of time to like fill this in yet. And obviously the rest of it is still blank because I need to research a lot of the plants in the book because I don't really know a lot of the ones that aren't like super obviously used in magic or that I haven't come across before, so I will eventually get to that. But that's so far the Herbiary. And obviously my little Thrifty haul. Hopefully we'll be going to another jumble sale soon, so you'll get another one of these videos. If you're enjoying the thrift hauls and the progress on the Herbiary, give this a thumbs up so that I know that people are enjoying these and, you know, I don't have to just stop making them because no one gives a shit. And in the meantime, make sure you're subscribed, and remember you can also listen on Castbox if you're not, you know, near YouTube. You can pre-download some of the episodes if you're going out of data range, which is what I do for coach trips. Not of my own podcast, obviously, that would be very weird. But yeah, I will see you in the next one then. Bye!